Hi, I'm Dobbs Davis with Transpac Yacht Club, giving you the 4th of July analysis for our race in this edition, the 52nd edition of this race. And as usual, we start off with a tracker and look to see what's going out on the course. Now, the big picture view is that the groups are starting to converge together, east-west, or particularly this group here of the Thursday starters are starting to get to overtake our Tuesday starters, but the Tuesday guys are holding tough. They're the leaders in this class. We'll zoom in. Are the two Daler 46s right here? Wings from Australia, Favonius from the U.S. They're sticking close to rhumb line. Why do they do that? Well, it's the shortest distance to Hawaii, and they've got enough wind speed and wind angle to trundle down the course at 9 to 10 knots. So that's no reason to deviate to go any further. So and those two are no doubt pushing each other. Yeah, they've got less than 1,000 miles to go. In fact, when you look at this, there is 789 miles to go now. And this is with a 4-hour delay on the tracker, of course, because this is just before noon Pacific time. Now, the other group to watch are here, the Thursday starter group. They've all sagged above the rhumb line. Out in front is Bill McKinley. He's been out in front really for the entire race in this group. He's got a Cara 46 Plus, very fast boat. Why are they sailing up here? It's hard to know. I think probably because they've worked out in their polars, being a high-speed boat, that their best VMG, meaning the best velocity made good down the course and toward the mark, is at sailing these hot angles. 13 and a half knots of boat speed is certainly quite good. Their last 24 hours, 290 miles. That's pretty good for a monohull of that size. This boat here, however, Westerly 52 is a Santa Cruz 52 of Dave Moore's, and they're doing quite well. They're well legged out ahead of the rest of their 50-ish footers in their class, and they have been there for quite some time. Thereby they are actually leading in corrected time, which is what everybody gets scored with by the end of the race. Our Mod 70s, look at this, folks. Maserati going 27 and a half knots, quite fast, but so is Orion, and Orion is closer to Hawaii. So this is a battle that's been going on since Argo dropped out soon into the beginning of this race last weekend. I'm going to do something to show you what I noticed a little earlier, and that is here, the Triumph. Now, see that wiggle in their track? That's because they jibed to port. In fact, I got real excited about these guys being the first guys to jibe to port. It looked as though they were going to cross the Santa Cruz 50 Deception. Maybe they saw them. I don't know. They're not very far apart. 97. Yeah, they're only 5 miles apart. So it could be that that was a tactical move to get out in front of them or go with them in this direction. They maybe didn't want to cross. Maybe they had a wind shift, local wind shift that went back to the behind them. So a lifting shift that they just couldn't resist jibing to port. But anyway, we're going to see more and more of that, obviously, as we get further west down the track. And what else? Some reports from our Hawaii-based boat here, the FAR 57. They were all excited in their report. They put up their A2, so they're on downwind sailing now, and even describe it as coming up on champagne sailing. And that's what this race is all about. Downwind, waves and wind behind you, clear skies at day and night, full moon. That's really what the main attraction for this race. So they have expressed that. Now going back to the Saturday monohull starters, as you remember, they got stuck in the Channel Islands the first night, or this entire group was stuck. They had really very poor progress, got stuck in light air. Only these two broke away. Good Energy, the Rykel Pew 63, and of course Rio 100 which is a very big boat, biggest boat in the fleet. So with their size and rig plan, they're able to more or less go where they want. 14.2 knots is their progress. Good energy is 11 and change. Pelagroso going about 11. And some of the other guys here, Pied Piper, that's a sled, ULDB 70, Santa Cruz 70. They're going 10 knots. So I think these guys are still reaching, and I think they're probably a little bit in light air. Let's go on to putting some wind in here. And I'm going to scroll back out so you see the big picture. And sure enough, where it's depicted as blue, and the scale is at the bottom of the screen, you can see it's more in the 10 to 12 knot range, whereas the green is in the 15 to 20 knot range. So these guys continue to get plagued, possibly. Their boat speeds seem to indicate it, that in just a little bit lighter air, and they're still beam reaching. So I'm not sure anybody has spinnakers up yet here. They need to get over here where the wind shifts back to the east and they get broader angles, as this group has done. Just going to have a quick look at, this is the weather map, surface analysis from NOAA for the North Pacific. And I'm going to zoom in here. And let's get this oriented. Here's Hawaii. Here's California, right here in the starting area. So you draw a straight line, and that gives you an indication of where everybody is. Now, the key is looking at these isobars, not necessarily for their absolute value, but for the spacing between them. With narrower spacing here rather than here, this indicates that the pressure, the wind pressure, is greater. The wind direction is subparallel to these isobar lines. Being a high pressure up here, it's if you remember Coriolis effect, the air is descending down to the surface, and because of Coriolis is twisting a bit to the right. So if you imagine, the wind vectors then are again subparallel but slightly emanating away from the center of the high. Here's some ship reports: breeze at 225, angle at 20 knots. Here's another one over here: breeze at 199 at 15 knots. So that seems to correlate with what we see in the graphics in the last image with the tracker and the windy weather models. The teams that are out there, they have this, they have more. They've got great tools to help them, and we'll see. We'll see how this evolves. The high has remained to the north. It's about the same strength, and these isobars may shift a bit if the high moves one way or the other. But the key element here to note is the fact that the breeze is marching further east as they progress down the track. Therefore, at some point, they're going to be deciding when to jibe to get back. Our finish line is over here on Oahu. So that's our report for today. Pay attention to our website. We've got a lot of social media resources as well. And for the 4th of July, I wish everybody a good holiday. And I'm Dobbs Davis for Transpac Yacht Club. Thanks for tuning in.